Hi everybody, Dr. Joe here, and today I want to talk about how to analyze your own nutrition needs. It's fairly simple. My certification is through Precision Nutrition. They talk about it a little bit in there, and you can find it all the way across the internet. So I'm just going to kind of lay it out step by step, the easy version, so that you can do it for yourself. If you get any questions, just let me know. So I always start with a 3-day analysis. I want 2 weekdays and a weekend. That's going to give me the best picture of what my consumption looks like overall, because one day to the next might be different. I mean, just think about your own life. You probably eat differently on Saturday than you do on Monday. So I'm going to pick 3 days. And what I want to do for each of these 3 days is take a picture of everything I eat. That's going to give me a rough idea of both what I ate and approximately the amount. That's the key part. So if you have something that has a bunch of ingredients in it, say it's like a burrito, obviously you can't see in the side of the burrito, so you might want to take a few extra notes on that one. Or if it's a Chipotle burrito or bowl, they've got a nutrition calculator on their website you can use. But we're just going to get an idea of how much and what types of foods we're consuming by taking a picture of everything we eat over a 3-day span. Again, weekday, weekend, so we get a good comprehensive picture. Then you're going to go through those images and you're going to calculate calories. You can also calculate protein, carbs, fat. It sounds complex, but really all you have to do is Google how many calories in blank and you'll find it. Now, if you have a sandwich, you're going to have to break out into the components of the sandwich. So, for example, I did one of these recently, and so someone had a peanut butter and jelly, and from the picture, it looks like, I think in this case it was white bread, so we're talking about 120 calories from that. Peanut butter, probably 200 calories. A jelly in it was probably 50 calories. So I add all those together to get the total to 320, 370 calories in this particular person's sandwich, at least from appearance. Do the same thing with protein, carbs, fat. Google how many grams of protein in a 5-ounce chicken breast. You'll get all the answers you want. So if you've never done this before, you might have to do some measuring, or really estimation is fine because we're just looking at getting a general idea. So in this person's case, we had a total of 2,460 calories there, 2,975 there, and then day 3 looked a lot like day 1, 2,550. We can obviously average that out, and that's how many calories are they consuming. We also took some protein numbers because this person was looking at gaining muscle, and protein is an important part of that equation. Okay, so now I've got these numbers. Now the question is, what do I do with that? Because calories consumed only matters in reference to calories burned. And so you really have to find out how many calories someone is burning. This is a teenager, burns a lot of calories. So what you can do is calculate basal metabolic rate. It is called BMR for short. I'm going to write it out for you. Basal metabolic rate. That's essentially how many calories you burn just from existing, right? For your lungs to work, for your heart to beat, for anything to happen, you're going to burn calories. So this will give you the baseline of calories burned for someone. I'm going to put a link in the description of this video that gives you one of those calculators. The calculator I'm going to link is nice because it will also tell you by activity level. So let's say the basal metabolic rate's only 1,500. But what about activities they're doing? This kid played a lot of sports, so his estimate, we're probably looking at 2,900 to 3,200 calories burned per day. So we've got calories burned, and we've got calories in. So, what do we think here? This average number is below this number. This person is going to lose weight or maybe stay the same weight. Obviously, you want to look at their trends and weight so you can understand if this is matching up. If it's not, that's when you might want to do a little bit more detailed calculation. But I know for this kid, because he wants to gain weight and build muscle, it's probably not going to happen at these numbers. So either this number has to go down or these numbers have to go up. I almost never recommend someone take their activity down. It's happened, but rare occasions, because activity is healthy. So what we need to do is boost how much they're taking in, and specifically protein, which would be a nice thing to boost too, because that's the building block of muscle. So how do we do that? Most people want to overhaul their diet. They want to say, I do this wrong and this wrong and this wrong. So now for breakfast, instead of sausage, eggs, and bacon and white bread, I'm going to do oatmeal or whole grain toast and avocado. And then for lunch, they're going to pack something different. And they're no longer going to go to their favorite restaurant. The problem is when you try and change that many things at once, it almost never sticks. My biggest recommendation, and I tell this to every nutrition client that I've ever worked with, and the rule is one change at a time. So great. I think it's fantastic if you decided that your habit of eating out for lunch is bad and you want to pack your lunch instead. Great, do that, but make that it, just for a week or two. Get settled into one change. You can monitor your weight and see if you're getting the benefits you're hoping, and then tweak the next thing. So the first week, we'll say they're no longer going to eat out for lunch and they're going to take a high protein meal to school. Perfect. Let's say that bumps calories up a little bit. We let them get the hang of that for 2 weeks. And then if they do well on that, we're going to say, okay, now what you want to do is add an extra protein shake before bed. And then 2 weeks after that, you can change something different. But it's these little tweaks that are much more sustainable over time and a bunch of dramatic changes at once. The other thing that's beneficial is you can kind of measure the response to these changes. Let's say you decide you're going to have a protein shake every day, and 4 weeks in, you haven't gained a single pound. Well, that's going to either tell us to go back to our analysis and see if we missed something, or it's going to say, let's look at the shake. Are we doing that right? Does it have enough protein? Does it have enough calories? Some protein powders are very lean. They don't come with a lot of calories, so you might feel like you're doing the right thing, but still not getting enough calories. Again, this is the basic overview. If you have specific questions, feel free to reach out, leave them in the comments, things like that. But in summary, what you have to do is get some type of idea of how much food you consume, which you can do by taking pictures using Google, and get an idea how many calories you burn, compare the two, find out your goals. If you're trying to gain weight, you need this number to be lower than these numbers. If you're trying to lose weight, you need the opposite. Stick to one change at a time, and you'll be much more likely to get your results. Hope you learned a little bit. Again, feel free to reach out with questions. Thanks.